Check. It's on. Cool. Shout out to the AV people. Really appreciate it. Y'all are the best. Right. Hype. Party people, what's up? How y'all doing? I'll tell you what. I love showing up to places that feed me. So it's a real pleasure to be here. I love being fed before I speak. So thank you guys. I'm gonna make this really short because I have to use the restroom. But yeah, I feel really privileged to be here. The people that I've met, it's kind of awesome because I don't really have to explain myself a whole lot because this is a really charismatic bunch, and that's awesome. It's really great. I wanna shout out Miss Jenny. She is over there. She's a workaholic, but she loves what she does, so it balances out. And it's the level of excellence that she walks in. She saw me on the Today Show segment in January. And she followed up and reached out, and now I'm here. And that's just really, really cool. So I want to shout you out for just the level of faithfulness that you walk in and just the excellence that you walk in. It's really cool. Yeah. And then, I'd love to thank my mom. As Shalkin, it was mentioned a second ago that we are a team, and we really are. I can't imagine what it's like to be a parent, thank God. But I imagine it's a daunting task when a kid says, this is what I want to do, and so thank you for supporting me. She kind of modeled giving. I tell her our house is like, a second-rate B&B where people check in, but they never really kind of check out just because she just has that heart to serve, and it's really cool to witness that and to have that as a role model. So I'm going to play a song to get us going. But again, this is really great. I'll tell you what, there's nothing more humbling than watching puberty unfold on a monitor. That is really, I don't know, maybe we need to get some more current content or something, but it's like, it's excruciating, honestly. Yeah. Like, how do you even move on from something like that? All right, cool. If y'all know this one, feel free to sing it. Me and all my friends were all misunderstood. They say we stand for nothing, well, there's no way we ever could. I see everything going wrong with the world and those that lead it. Just don't know if we got the means to rise above and beat it. That's why we're waiting on the world to change. Keep on waiting on the world to change. It's not that I don't care, just sometimes the fight ain't fair. That's why I'm waiting. Now if we have the power, bring our neighbors home from war. And never miss a Christmas, no more ribbons on their door. When you trust your television, what you get is what you got. Cause when they own the information, they can mend it all they want. That's why I'm waiting on the world to change. Keep on waiting, waiting on the world to change. One day my generation is gonna rule the population. Keep on waiting. Keep on waiting. Oh, we keep on waiting. It's not that I don't care, but sometimes the fight ain't fair. That's why we're waiting. Keep on waiting. No. There we go. Cool. Cheers. Thank you. Cool. All right. What's good? How y'all doing? I'm gonna share some life stories today, which shouldn't take too long because I'm not that old. So it's not like I have a whole lot of those, right? But like it said in the video, I got bored at a restaurant one night when I was 7, and honestly, I still get bored at restaurants. I haven't evolved much as a human being, but I got bored at this restaurant, and I told my mom, "Hey, I'm gonna go play harmonica in this hallway just to kill some time and all that." So started playing really badly, by the way. Like I wasn't like a prodigy by any means. I was terrible for a solid 7 years, and I was playing harmonica, and I was wearing a hat. It got warm, so I took it off, and people thought that I was trying to get money. And so by the end of the night, I had $80 in my hat, and it was like, this mind-blowing thing. So being the 7-year-old that I was, I figured, all right, I can buy a car, a house, retire. Like, this is really great. This is amazing. What an amazing setup. I got paid for taking my hat off. This is my new profession. But I sat there, and I was thinking about all the ways that I was blessed, that I was taken care of, and I realized that with this money that I can make a difference, and so I donated it, and that one choice to give, it's amazing how something so small can create such a massive ripple effect. Like, I don't think we realize that, but honestly, that $80 give changed my life, and it put me on my path. So someone called and said, "Hey, I heard about that awesome story. Can you come share that at our event?" And one thing led to another. I started speaking and playing terrible harmonica for people, and then I don't know, I just, from a young age, wanted to facilitate change in any way that I knew how. So we started this awareness initiative called AidanCares. And the heart of it is I just try to help people figure out how they can use what they love to serve other people. Because I think that that's the best way to not burn out, is if we give out of what matters to us. I don't want to teach people to give out of obligation or out of guilt. I want to teach them to give out of what's important to them. It's not always about writing a big check. I don't discourage that. That's wonderful. Go for it. But it's really about what we do as people, what we do out of our heart. Our time, I find, is the most valuable thing. And so whether or not, it's serving at a humane society or giving back to pediatric cancer, whatever it is, it's just find whatever you're passionate about and give from that place. We don't have to wait for the stars align for us to make a difference. We can just live out being difference makers. And that's the message that I try to give. But today I don't want to make it narcissistic and talk about all that. I'm just going to share some lessons. And a lot of people, they tell me, how do you even start? Because it is kind of overwhelming. We see a lot of issues in the world. Like, how do you even start as a difference maker, right? And I think the first gift that we need to give, and it's often undone, but I think we need to give the gift of ourselves. And when I say that, I mean authenticity, our authentic selves. Just be who you are. I think that's incredibly healthy. I did this thing called cotillion. Did anyone do cotillion in here? See a couple of hands. I'm so sorry your parents abused you that way. It's horrible. And as you can see, I wasn't the tallest kid. So I went to, and for those of you who don't know, cotillion is basically charm school for pubescents. They teach you like what fork to use, and which I still don't even know. So you should get a refund, honestly, Mom. Like, I don't know. So they teach you what fork to use and ballroom dancing skills that everyone needs. Not really. But yeah, so I did this cotillion thing, and I felt so uncomfortable inside my own skin. Does anyone have that feeling? Does anyone know what I'm talking? You don't have to raise your hand to that. Or you can. I love it. Boldness. That's what's up. We just don't feel comfortable, and like we have our comfort zones, but in all reality, our comfort zones aren't all that comfortable if we really think about it. They're not, but we still have them. So I had mine. In cotillion, I remember going in the last day. My mom put me through that for like 6 weeks, maybe. I think it was. I don't know what I did to deserve that either. I thought I was being good. But anyway, did that cotillion thing. And I remember going in the last day, and I looked at my mom. I said, I haven't been myself one time this entire process. I haven't felt comfortable inside my own skin. And I said, I'd rather just be myself and see how that rides out than to be false, to be fake. And so I think it's really important as people, no matter what that place in our life is. I use cotillion as a really shallow example, but if you go into something not being yourself, how can you ever be content? You really can't. It's almost impossible. So I just encourage you guys to give the gift of you, because I think that's where all the greatest things come from in our life, is when we're just comfortable inside our own skin. So whether or not it's work or family reunion, God forbid, or whatever it is, I say that a lot because a lot of people are like, I'm not comfortable inside my skin at Thanksgiving. It's too political. I'm like, I hear you. I understand. I'm sorry. But I just encourage you guys to give the gift of you. I think that's the first thing that we need to do, because people are hungry for authenticity. They really are. We got so much going on to where if you can just be yourself, I think that's pretty wonderful. One day I was walking around in the dollar store, and that segue. I'm really ADD, so I don't really have a whole lot of time for segues in my mind. I just kind of go for it. I wing it. That's how I roll. So I was walking around in the dollar store, which that's the most legit place on the planet, in case y'all didn't know. You get all this like cheap stuff from China that you don't really need, but it's great and you can justify it because it's $1. So it's around Christmas time, and I'm not even on the payroll with the dollar store, by the way. I selflessly plug them all the time. Love that place. Anyway, I'm walking around, and we kind of live in a world where we know people by the top of their head because there's a whole lot of like this going on. You know, can anyone relate to that? And like I will confess, there are times where I look at ESPN and then an hour of my life is gone and I have no idea where it went. It's just like the endless scroll. See, that doesn't need to be on there. It just doesn't. Like, what does that serve being on the slide? I didn't do this, by the way. I didn't. I'm actually the victim as far as this goes. I don't know. I just see it on the little monitor right here. I'm like, why? Just this why? What was I talking about? Oh yeah. So it's just so mean. That's like a form of birth control doing that to a team. That's terrible. Anyway, I was walking around the dollar store, and I was on my phone the entire time. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, I haven't looked up one time. And so I put my phone away, and I read the cashier's name. And I said, hey, Miss Robin, how are you doing? I said, I hope you're having a blessed holiday season. Made eye contact because I'm trying to work on that. It's difficult, but I try to make a habit to do that. And this lady started weeping in the dollar store. And I said, what's going on? She said, well, not one person has acknowledged me today. She said, I haven't even heard my name. Thank you so much. And it just, it broke my heart for a lot of reasons. Number one, because it was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so the day wasn't young. Like she'd been there a minute. And I remember getting into the car, and I had like this sick feeling in my stomach because I was thinking about all the opportunities like that I miss. All the moments like that I miss because I'm not looking for it. And so, and I'm not, saying all technology is terrible or anything like that, but I'm just saying, and I had this conversation at lunch with you, actually, totally talking about that. How you doing? Long time no see. The quesadillas are spot on. Love it. But no, what I'm saying is there is a time and place because people all around us are so hungry for that connection, and that could be a moment where we impact someone's life in ways we can't even imagine, but we miss it if we're not looking for it. And so I just encourage y'all to compartmentalize in ways to where you're not missing encounters like that. Because it's so important, and as people, I think we kind of fail when we try to classify who to love. I think that's when we fail the most, is when we try to figure out reasons to love other people or to acknowledge other people. And I'm not saying it's like we're intentionally going around, rebuking anyone or anything like that, but I think, we have our group of people, and that's just how it is, and we rarely get the opportunity to look outside of that. So whatever it is, whether or not it's the bellman that helps you with your luggage, someone at the gas station pump right next to you. And it's sad that we live in a world where being kind or smiling at someone else in public is scary. Like, it is. Like, you smile at someone and they back away slowly with their shopping cart. That's normally at Whole Foods. Those people are pretty jaded, I'll tell you what. I mean, not to get, overly political about Whole Foods, but I feel like if you're going into a store to buy vegan bacon, you should analyze your life choices a little bit. What is that? I mean, it's a lie. We all know what bacon is, right? So to call it that, I don't know. Maybe that's because I'm from the South and bacon is a religious figure, but I don't. It's intense, man. In your mind, what are you consuming? It's not pork. I can tell you that. It didn't come from, anyway, not important. But get sidetracked easily, but it's true. The place is good for a lot of reasons, but vegan bacon, I don't understand it. I'm gonna read up on it and figure it out. But we live in a world where if we where if we acknowledge other people, then they back away slowly, and that's sad. I don't know how we got to that point to where carrying kindness is like carrying the plague. It's really bizarre. And so I just encourage you guys, even if that is the normal around us, we don't have to live that way. Because we can't continue to fail. Because the areas, any encounter that we have where we're not kind, we didn't do it right. We just didn't. Because we look at the world, it's pretty hurting. And if, as people, the little things we can contribute make a difference, why wouldn't we contribute those things? And I'm guilty of it. I get caught up in my life. Things are stressful, all that kind of stuff. But we can't miss the least of these. We can't miss the people around us that we're called to impart into. Every Saturday, I go to the projects in Atlanta. I'm from Atlanta, and it's really intense areas. It's from the residences you can see the state penitentiary. Like it's just a really rough environment, and there's little to no male role models in this area. And so I go through this church, and we deliver groceries, and we knock on doors, and it's ironic. The thing that they need the most isn't their electrical bill paid necessarily or their food, but this one woman told me that she just needed someone to care. She said that meant more to her than the groceries, and I think that's unbelievable how easy it is to fill that need, And so I was going, and one time I just finished delivering groceries, and this dude started walking towards me, and I look, and there's a gun in the elastic of his pants, and I was pretty scared. Like, I think I peed a little, but I did, man. I was nerve-wracking, and I look, and he starts coming towards me, and he's got tattoos on his face, and I was raised where if you have tattoos on your face, you're tough. That's just how it is, and he started coming towards me, and I was like, all right, it's been fun, God. Thank you. Appreciate it. It's been good ride. And he comes up to me. He goes, yo, are you the dude that prays for people? I was like, nah, man, that's not me. He goes, no, but you're the little white dude that prays for people. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's definitely me. Like, there's not like a surplus of us running around, So he said, all right, you're supposed to pray for me. And I'm still kind of shaking a bit because it's like I'm trying to not position myself to face the gun. I'm like, twister. But, put my arm around him, and then we start praying, and dude starts crying. Grown man starts crying, and he looks at me. He said, dude, if you knew me, he said, if you really knew me, he said, you wouldn't be supporting me right now. He said, you wouldn't be standing here. He said, this means a lot. Thank you. And I told him, I said, listen, it's not my job to figure you out. I said, it's just not. So my job is just to have grace. My job is just to accept you for who you are. And I think that's one of the most powerful gives that we can do. Like, again, I say this, and I can't emphasize this enough. It's not always financial. Sometimes that's just it. That's almost the pinnacle of loving others, because we can't classify who to love and why. We just can't. The world's too hurt for that. And so that little thing, he got his cousin, which I didn't know if I should run for it in that time frame, but I didn't. And he brought his cousin back, and we all chatted for a bit. But I just encourage y'all to not limit yourself, and to actually look for ways that you can reach other people. I don't know anyone's religious orientation. I'm not trying to ruffle any feathers, but in my belief system, there's a scripture, and it talks about how the King of Glory comes down and divides everyone, the goats on the left and the sheep on the right, and the sheep are the ones that inherit the kingdom of heaven, which is pretty legit. Honestly, like, that's the end game for me, hopefully, to inherit the kingdom of heaven. And they said, Lord, how did this happen? How did we get picked, basically? And he says, he said, when I was hungry, you fed me. When I was naked, you clothed me. When I was in prison, you visited me. When I was a stranger, you took me in. And they said, when were you hungry? He said, and as much as you did it unto the least of these, you did it unto me. And I just feel like the least of these are all around us. I used to think that was, the least of these was someone living under a bridge, or someone, who was homeless, whatever it was. But I realized I think the least of these is anyone that because of circumstance, they're unable to be all that they can be. I think that's what it is in a nutshell. You're less than what you can be. And I think that makes you, and we all struggle with that. And so as people, if we can ease that ratio a bit, if we can help people get closer to being who they are and the best that they can be, which sounds like a Miss America thing to say, but it's true. If we can encourage that, then why don't we? And so I encourage y'all, whatever platform in life, whether or not it's your workplace, or whether or not you have a vast social media following, whatever it is, just look for ways that you can encourage and impact, because the world needs it now more than ever. And I kind of look at, like, someone the other day was like, okay, so you're the punk that's going to cure cancer. I'm like, no, that's not me. That's not my goal. I said, I kind of feel like everything is a mosaic a little bit. And that piece of art is only, I'm all about analogies and metaphors, by the way. That's how I roll. But that piece of art is only whole because of every piece that's in it. And it's all broken pieces, but they're all equally important. Doesn't matter if one's big or small, it's just matter if it's there. And so I feel like my goal in life is to kind of encourage people to contribute their piece, and so if you feel like you're trying to contribute your piece, then I think that kindness, I think that giving, I think that loving others, I think that's the best way to do that, because at the end of the day, that's the only way to have well-being that I've found. We can run around in our crazy schedule, we can play music, whatever it is that we love, but unless we're loving and compassionate towards other people, I don't know that we can be whole necessarily. I just don't. I don't know that for sure. And so I'm going to play a song real quick and then share more life lessons. Cool. So I wrote this one actually, which is always kind of a miracle. Always kind of a miracle when I can write anything, because I'll sit down remotely inspired and I'll be like, oh, look, a butterfly, and then I'll totally lose my train of thought completely. It's just this struggle that I battle with. But a friend of ours passed away in 2014, and it was 2016, my bad. Man, seems like just yesterday I was a kid, you know? Partly because I was, but yeah. I'm getting old, y'all, as you can see from the slide. Which is sad because I look the same, I'm just taller. That's the thing, like, I look like a 12-year-old that's just tall. It's bizarre. It's all right, though. Anyway, friend passed away in 2016, and I was analyzing their life a little bit. And no matter what they were going through, they had an inner circle of people that stood by them regardless. And I kind of think that's beautiful when you accept someone for where they are instead of where you want them to be. You know, I hope that makes sense. But I kind of think that's what love is. It's saying, I see where you are in life and I support that person regardless. And it's just amazing because, you know, even in their highs, their lows, it didn't really matter. And so it's just a song about that. And y'all are great, by the way. I really appreciate it. I know I'm a little all over the place, but you're just nice people that I've met here, and that's really cool. Like I told someone earlier, I don't feel the need to explain myself a whole lot, because y'all are kind of about it, and it's just really cool. Your body is burning, but you don't feel a thing. 'Cause this world is so cold. Yeah, and I know, you feel all this pain, but you don't have to hide. When you're lost, and you don't have to hide. When you're broken, you don't have to hide. When you're scared, 'cause I will stand with you. Oh, and I know you're without direction, just striving for perfection, and you're coming up short. Oh, you're looking for peace in places that can't achieve it. Oh, no. But you don't have to hide. When you're lost, and you don't have to hide. When you're broken, you don't have to hide. When you're scared, 'cause I will stand with you. 'Cause I know who you are, and I love you just the same. Oh, I know who you are, and I love you just the same. Oh, I know why you stumble, and I love you just the same. And so I will walk with you, if I may. 'Cause that day's gonna come when you close your eyes. I got to know if if you're going to be alright. Oh, I know you're in pain, and life don't make it easier, but I will walk with you, if I may. 'Cause you don't have to hide when you're lost. No, you don't have to hide when you're broken. You don't have to hide when you're scared. 'Cause I will stand with you, and I will stand with you. Appreciate it. But yeah, I just I love that, and that's why I can't, say this enough. But if you really give out of what you love, then you're not burning out. It's your lifestyle, So I just encourage y'all, whatever that place of passion. The last thing that I want to share today, I just felt like I was supposed to. It's not really something that I talk about. I don't advertise it. But my dad left when I was 14. And it was 13, 14, and it was really, it was difficult. I was out of town serving, actually, and I came back, and my whole family had fallen apart in like a week. It was just done, and it hurt. It took a toll, and there was like this 9-month period where I literally didn't do anything just because, that place of pain, it was just consuming, it really was, and so... But it's ironic because at that moment when, shutting down just seemed like the normal and the right thing to do, it's amazing how far from the truth that is. And I find that actually the only reason I was able to get through, my pain, and obviously it's the thing I deal with every day, but the only reason I was able to kind of break through the roughest patch of it is because I was determined to live out what I love still, and I was determined to give through. So I don't know if that message is for anyone here specifically today, but I encourage you guys that whatever that is, obviously we all have our stories, we all have our scars and stuff like that, but whatever that is for you, don't let that be the thing keeping you from doing what you love. Don't let that be the thing keeping you from impacting the lives of others, because it doesn't have to stop at your worst place. It doesn't. You can continue through. So I hope that you do that, and I feel really, really privileged to be here today. This is awesome. I think we're doing Q&A, right? Is that happening? So we're doing Q&A at some point. Before we do that, I was going to play harmonica, but just don't believe the lie that who you are and what you are isn't enough, because it always is and it always will be. And thank you guys for your time today. I really do appreciate it. And I'm going to end on some harmonica real quick, because this is what got me here today. And then we're going to do some Q&A, so try not to ask really difficult questions. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, because see, I make myself look like an idiot, but that's not y'all's job, I'm a closet idiot secretly. All right. God help us. All right. Cool, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Cool. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Cool. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks so much. Thank you. Cool. Y'all are great. So what do I do now? Do I just exit stage left, or what's the story? Because I don't know how we're doing on time, too. That's the thing. So, Miss Jenny, you tell me.
We have about 3 minutes, Aidan. Why don't we just ask a couple questions and see if we can get reply?
3 minutes. All right, cool. It's the voice of God, y'all. It is.
You're on it, Aidan. You're on it.
Cool.
Aidan,
Where are you? Oh, you're over there. I was like, what are you saying, God? All right.
Aidan,
Cool.
I have a question in the back.
Hey.
So your music is obviously a big part of your magic. Say a little bit about music for you and how it connects to what you're up to in the world.
Thank you. Yeah. And what's your name? I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, my name's Allie.
Nice to meet you. All right. I mean, it's everything. It's like it keeps me from having to work at Chick-fil-A, which is great. I play like a ton of restaurants and stuff like that, and yeah, it's awesome, and I love it. I don't know, if I'm gonna be the type that sells out an auditorium or anything like that, but I love writing. Love the writing aspects. It's like a great therapeutic outlet for my life. And I swear I don't just write depressing songs. Like I try to write upbeat songs and stuff like that. But it's cool to use that because I think we all need that go-to place where we can just kind of unwind and purge our thoughts. So that's why I love it. It's almost like medicinal at this point. But yeah, cool. Any other questions? Is that it? Right here. Hey, how you doing? Here we go.
Hi, Aidan. I'm Christy.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm curious about your giving and how do you choose? Where do you give? How do you you serve, obviously, but when it comes to donations, et cetera, how do you choose to give, and what's that look like?
It's a great question. As far as like finding a good 501c3, I think that's really important. Because you want to know that what you're earning is going towards a need. There's tons of charities that I love. One specifically I love, Serve International, which I don't know if y'all are familiar with that, but 5 cents buys a meal, and it's 100% legitimate. The executives don't drive fancy cars and stuff like that. Like, it's a great charity. And then as far as serving goes, it's, again, ripple effect. I'll go to one place, and that will lead to another. Like, tomorrow I'm going to, an orphanage here in Georgia and stuff like that. And so, you just put it out there. And it's amazing how you do one thing, and then you can just kind of sit back and watch everything else unfold. So that's generally how it works. Like, I can't stress the lack of planning in my life enough. Like, I don't plan, like, ever. I just don't. Just kind of wake up, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's today. Like, yesterday, I was like, oh, wait, that's today. And so here I am. It's awesome. But, yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I think we got time for, like, one more question. Cool.
Hi,
Two more
Aidan.
questions. Hey, how you doing?
Hi, I'm Lisa, and just to build on that last comment, the lack of planning one, my question was kind of what's next. So not
What's
to put you on
next?
the spot, but
Right.
it just seems like there's endless possibilities for you at this point. So when you think ahead for yourself and what you're trying to do in the world, what's pulling you?
That's a good question. I love how I just emphasize, I don't plan at all. What's your 5-year plan? Oh, okay. Honestly, and that's just cruel. No, that's what I said there. Yeah, because now I have to like undo what I just said, which that's my mom's job. She's like my fact checker. Like everyone needs a fact checker. I have many. But I hope this plus, like I don't really want to alter my way of life too much. I just kind of want to build on what I got going on because this is what I really love. The service aspects more than anything, but then sharing with cool bunches of people like y'all is pretty ideal too. And then whatever happens with music, that's mainly just like a vehicle, though, to serve and stuff like that. So, about 5 years, I'm a senior in high school, which is surreal. Everyone talks about adulting, and it always seems so far off, but it's kind of here, which is weird. I know it's grow up so fast, but they never warn you about that. They do though. But yeah, hopefully this plus, I'll probably do like my core classes online university, and then I was looking at a place called Belmont, where I could, Belmont University, which is really cool. Obviously we got a fan, just one though, so yeah. Doesn't say a whole lot about the school, no. But then maybe like minor in business, because that seems secure, and then a major in music production or something like that. Or this, if this blows up, then I'll continue to do that. So I think we got time for one more question. I think you raised your hand, right? Cool, what's up? How you living? I had caffeine today, can y'all tell? It was a great life choice that I made. I feel really good about it.
Hi, my name is Jen, and I have 2 young girls and would love to encourage them to start to give now. What helped cultivate that in you? And how, as a mother, can I cultivate that in my girls?
That's a really solid question. First off, I love that you're catching them young. That's so important. I speak at a ton of schools, and there is almost a cutoff point for hope. It's bizarre. Like that 4th grade through 6th grade window, reality sets in, and kids are less enthusiastic about going to go volunteer time. But I think the biggest thing that stuck with me, because I can't say there's a right or wrong way, I can just speak on my own experience, but what worked for me was it was just modeled to me at a young age. You know, I watched my mom doing it, so it just seemed like the normal thing to do. And then the cool thing is I didn't ever give out of obligation. It was always out of stuff that I actually wanted to do. Like, some kids will love animals way more than homeless people, so a soup kitchen might not be for them, but the Humane Society might. And so I think strategic, I'm trying to use my word-a-day calendar words. I think, thank you, appreciate it. It's working out great. I'm trying to sound really photosynthesis, you know. But I think, what was I talking about? No, I think, you know, strategic partnerships with charities that your kids care about. You know, I did this thing with the Humane Society down in Savannah, and it's called Reading to Cats, and guess what they do? They read to cats, and it's bizarre. Nuzzle buddies, yeah. So these cats are abandoned, and they have abandonment issues and all this stuff, and so literally just the human interaction of reading to them expands their life. Like, they live longer from human interaction, from being well-loved. And so that's amazing. Like, that's so cool. So if your kids love animals, go do something like that. You know, if they love, there's a charity called Pebble Tossers. I don't know where you live, but they are driven to find family-based, you know, organizations that you can give to. Because you wouldn't want to, like, bring your kid into the heart of a rough area, you know, but you would want them to start. So I would encourage you just to talk with them, figure out, hey, what are you passionate about, and then to use that. I think that's the most important thing, because I never had to give out an obligation. It was always, this is something that I actually wanted to be doing, and that sparked everything. So it was great. Yeah, but cool. All right, guys, it's been real. Have an amazing speaker coming up.
Thank you,
so
Aidan.
thank y'all very much.
Thank you so much. The amazing speaker's coming soon. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you.
All right, cheers.
Wise beyond your years, for sure. And thank you so much. We're going to have more time with Aidan tonight around the campfire at 8 o'clock, so we'll get a chance to hear his music. He's also built into our agenda tomorrow as well, so